Hey guys, this is a project update number 1 for the Doily Still Life canvas. I'm just going to talk about what threads and stitches I've used so far on this piece. Probably the most in-depth thing I've done so far is the doily. I used this petite silk lame braid by Rainbow Gallery, color SP02. And I used 2 strands to lay down couching threads, outlining the doily, and then for sort of these crisscrosses to create these diamond shapes. And then I use a single strand of the silk lame braid to couch them down. Once I had done that, I went in with 2 strands and created these French knot outlines to make that sort of lacy border. That was a little bit tricky. It threw me a bit because instead of going over the intersections, you are going over the threads of the canvas, so you can't quite follow the pattern that's been painted, and you just have to experiment a bit. I ended up with 3 French knots in a row, 1 on top, and then just a diagonal 2 down, into the next section. So what I did try to do is keep the pattern consistent. So whatever I did here, I tried to do, along here as well, and for the 4 corners. So after the French knots were in place, I went back into the diamond shape created by the couching, and I took just one tiny stitch over a strand of canvas. And I don't know if the stitch has a name or if it even is a stitch, but I essentially took 4 tiny stitches going over one thread of the canvas and created sort of the square around an intersection. And I did that across the entire doily, and then I went into the lacy sections out here and did that as well. I didn't do them around an intersection, so they're, in here there aren't those squares, but I just try to place the stitches in some type of a pattern and keep it consistent throughout. Next, I really wanted the focus to be on the doily, so I just did a basket weave stitch in the background here with 3 strands of Splendor Strandable Silk by Rainbow Gallery, color S1095. I used straw silk for the leaves, Silk Road Fibers straw silk in the color Mary Jane, and I just did like a satin stitch. I don't absolutely love it. It's working. If you have any ideas, let me know. I'm definitely open to ripping that out. I also went ahead and used the straw silk here in a stem stitch for the flower stems. For the little yellow flowers, I used the Silk Opal Planet Earth Fiber Silk Opal Noon 0401. I used that for a small French knot. Then around the French knot I did 4 cross stitches, and I used a single strand of Splendor Rainbow Gallery S877 and Krynic number 4 fine braid, very fine braid, 321 jet. And so the Splendor and the Krynic I put together in the needle and stitched the 4 cross stitches, and then I went ahead and placed a French knot and the silk opal in the center. So that's where I've got to so far. I have started experimenting with the daisy right here, and I'm going to learn some stump work. So here's what I've done so far. It's my first ever try at stump work. I'm really pleased. It was super fun. I'm not going to actually put this on the canvas. The wire is a little bit thick. What I did was I couched the wire down and then did a buttonhole stitch all the way around the petal. So I'm going to fill that with probably a long and short stitch, and you can see that I'm working on linen. I think I'm going to try using linen because the shape is pretty small for a canvas. So then I'll put a long and short stitch inside of the petal, cut it out, and attach it to the canvas. I'm also hoping to do beadwork on the vase, learn a new technique that way, make the entire vase full of beads. We'll see how it looks. It might be a little bit overwhelming. I'm thinking about doing the butterfly or dragonfly in stump work as well. Otherwise, I think it would be fun to try and find some type of a charm or a bead. If you have any questions about the stitches or the threads or the canvas, definitely let me know in the comments. If you want to stitch this canvas yourself, you can get it through your local needlepoint shop or online shops as well, but I am distributed through Fleur de Paris. Thanks so much for watching, guys.